Hard hitting sports in your face. You see the title of the video. Facebook, YouTube. If you're not following me on Twitter, make sure that you follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Casuwell, @KASUWELL. That's my Twitter handle. We're gonna talk about Dolphin free agency. You see the title. Let's get into it, man, because there's a lot to talk about. I gave my grades on this free agency. We will go more into depth with it. So I guess we'll just let's start it. I guess. Oh man. I promise you, I'm gonna keep this shit short and sweet, man. Oh boy. Anyway, listen. Let's start from the very top. The very first move that was made in this season as far as free agency was to trade Jarvis Landry, the wide receiver from the Miami Dolphins. And he was traded for what amounts to almost a 5th round draft pick, because the pick that we got for Jarvis Landry is the pick from the Carolina Panthers. I gave that pick, that trade, I gave that trade a D-. I thought that was a terrible trade in which the Miami Dolphins lost. I thought we lost on that trade. I thought going into that trade, I thought, okay, all right, it's at least going to be a 3rd round pick. Some people had 2nd round picks. I knew it wasn't going to be a 1st round pick. I had people saying trade it to some team for the 5th. And the first thing that came to my mind is y'all smoking crack. Ain't nobody giving up no damn 1st round pick, the 4th pick in the 1st round. You talking about some 1st round? You got your fucking mind. Get the fuck out of here with that. That's what I thought. All right. So that was the first move that was made. Right. The next move that was made was Albert Wilson, the wide receiver from Kansas City Chiefs, and I want to go over Albert Wilson's numbers. Let's go over Albert Wilson's stats. Albert Wilson's stats tell me a lot. Now, Albert Wilson is 5'9", 200 pounds. He's a fast receiver. His last season with the Kansas City Chiefs, he caught 42 balls. Excuse me. He had 63 targets, 554 yards, which I care nothing about. And he had 3 touchdowns. He's never had more than 3 touchdowns in an NFL season. The Miami Dolphins went out and gave Albert Wilson, forget what the total number. They gave Albert Wilson Albert Wilson signs a 3-year deal worth $24 million. Right? Which roughly amounts to about $8 million a season. I don't know how the contract word played and all of that shit. I'm hoping it's a team-friendly deal. But they gave $8 million to a receiver with the most catches he's ever had is 42, and the most TDs he's ever had was 3. To me, that's a bit steep. It's a bit steep. That's all I'm saying. So when I graded that pick and graded that signing and I gave it a C, that's exactly what I was talking about. I was talking about the lack of productivity. He's a solid signing. I like the size and the speed, definitely. You know how I am about slow motherfuckers. I can't stand those slow ass receivers. It's been that way. I don't see why people are oh my God, I can't believe he said that. What the hell did you expect? And he's got some upside. I don't think he's reached his ceiling yet. But I felt like we paid too much for what we've seen already. That's all. The next pick up was Danny Amendola. Let's go through Danny Amendola. Danny Amendola. Danny Amendola has played a full 16-game season. One time, actually, twice in his NFL career. Every other season, he's missed games. Every single last one of them. 12 in 2016, 14 in 2015. He played 16 in 2014, 12 games in 2013, 11 in 2012, one game in 2011, 16 with the Rams, and 14 before that. In 5 seasons of being with the New England Patriots, Danny Amendola has 15 touchdowns. Did I say that right? Wait a minute. 2, 3, 6, 10. I'm sorry. In 5 seasons of playing with the New England Patriots, Danny Amendola has 12 touchdowns. In 2 seasons of playing with Jay Cutler, Matt Moore, Ryan Tannehill, Kenny Stills has 15 touchdowns. Let me repeat this. I'm repeating. I'm going to say this shit. In 5 seasons of playing with Tom Brady, Danny Amendola has 12 touchdowns. In a 9-year career, Danny Amendola has played 16 games twice. This is a 5'11", 4'5", 40 running wide receiver that's 32 years old, and we signed him. And I think he's making like $6 million. I gave that signing an absolute F. Thought it was the dumbest fucking move we could have made. Just dumb. See, I would like to see an offense that stresses defenses. I want to stress you as much as possible. A receiver that has 12 touchdowns in 5 years with one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL, to me, doesn't stress the defense. At least not enough. Well, Tom Brady spreads the ball out. He doesn't throw the ball. Dude, Cooks came to the Patriots in 1 season and had 7 touchdowns last year. Please, miss me with that bullshit. Miss me. Anyway, enough about that. Because I didn't come to just blast. I came to, talk. The next next free agent signing was Josh Sitton. I give that pickup a B+. Good signing. A little bit on the older side. He's 31 years old, but he was a top 5 ranked guard last year. I don't see any decline in his play. Good signing. The next signing was Quinn. We traded a 4th round pick to get Quinn. That I'm not happy with, because to me, a 4th round pick in this draft could get you a starter. A 4th round pick in this draft could get you Frank Ragnow, possibly. A 4th round pick might just well get you a decent tight end. Now the good thing is that we ended up getting another fourth round pick, but we could have had 3 fourth round picks. Who knows? The linebacker from UCF could be a fourth round pick, depending on how teams see him with one arm. Shaquille Griffin, he could very well be a fourth round pick in this draft. If we miss him because we signed Quinn, I don't know how to feel about that. Now, Quinn has been a productive defensive end in this league, 19 sacks. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with this issue. The last defensive end that we brought into Miami and said, oh my God, this guy's a beast. He's played well for other teams. You know who he was? Think long and hard about it. He was an older guy, came from Buffalo, came here and didn't do a goddamn thing. Remember him? Yeah, exactly. So a lot of the times when we grab these guys that have been productive in other systems, they just come here and don't pan out as well for some reason. You know what I mean? That's the type of thing that scares me. So I gave that a C plus. Cutting Mike Pouncy, I gave that a definite A. Mike Pouncy was a decent pass blocker. He was a terrible run blocker. And I felt like it was time. If we're going to continue to rebuild, it makes no sense to have Mike Pouncy in the middle of our offensive line being a liability. Right? Cutting Adama Kansu's huge salary. I gave, and I'm like, I don't know. You know what? This is the thing, and I said this before in a previous post. I said, listen, this team is not an Adama Kansu away from a Super Bowl. You spend $26 million on a player that puts you over the top. To me, your quarterback should be your highest paid player. I feel like he's the most important player on that team. A quarterback can impact every single play because he touches the ball every single play. Wide receivers have an opportunity to make a big play every single time they're on. Same thing with a corner. A lockdown cornerback can take away one side of the field. A defensive tackle, you know, I don't know. I like Sue. Sue's an elite player, and I'm not knocking Sue at all. He's an elite player, takes on double teams, but to me, with the price tag, it was a good move to get rid of that salary. We get $17 million back from cutting Sue. I thought it was a good move. Plus, we prepared ourselves. We have Godchild, we have Phillips, we have Vincent Taylor. We brought back the other guy from that we picked up from the Rams last year. So I thought that was a pretty good. The restructure of Jones and Tannehill to free up space. Time will tell how that works out for us. I think Tannehill is going to end up making $26 million next season. If Tannehill comes in this season, right? If he comes in this season and drops a 35-14 season, I won't give a fuck what they paying him. If he comes in this season and he throws 19 touchdowns and 14 interceptions, $26 million, I'm going to be pissed. I will be absolutely livid. But I expect, see, the thing about Tannehill to me though is I don't feel like he's reached his ceiling. I don't. I just feel like we're gonna have to do more to cater to his strong suits. Play action is one of his strong suits, which worries me because now we don't have that bell cow running back. If you go back to 2016 and watch a lot of those touchdowns, especially the Kenny Stills, a lot of those touchdowns came on play action, where play action was used to slow down the pass rush, suck up some of that secondary, and get those big plays. That's no longer there. I don't know what we're going to get out of Kenyon Drake next year. But we didn't know what we were going to get out of Jay Ajayi last year. So I'm looking on the bright side of things. Um, the next next thing that we did was the Kilgore trade. I thought that was an A. I gave that an A. We gave up absolutely nothing, and we got a starting center that ranked higher than Mike Pouncy did last year. Why don't you show your face, you ugly or something? Why in the fuck would a dude be worried about my face? Why would a dude be worried about what I look like? Nah, it's some duty. Yeah, I'm just bullshitting. But nah, man, I got a lot of things going on in my house right now. When I'll come on video soon enough. All right. Anyway, anyway, so that is my that's my grades for this off season. I gave the Albert Wilson signing a C. I thought his limited production and the amount that they signed him for, which is about $8 million a season, was a tad bit high. I would have felt way more comfortable if it would have been a $4 or $5 million contract. That would have made more sense. The Danny Amendola signing to me was just awful. I don't understand it. If you're gonna get a slow receiver, I don't understand why we won't get a big slow receiver. I'm okay with big and slow. 6'4", 6'5", 6'3". You can throw it up, let him go get it. I'm cool with that. But a small, slow receiver, I have no idea. That makes no sense to me. Sitting, I gave a B plus. Quinn, I gave a C plus. Cutting Pouncy, I gave an A. Cutting Sue, I gave a B. The restructure of Jones and Tanningham, I gave a B. In the Kilgore trade, I gave an A. I don't know if we're finished. There was a couple other of our own guys that we re-signed. I'm not even going to worry about that. I think Walt Aikens re-signed. The QB came back. Yeah. Anyway, man, those are my thoughts on this free agency. Let me go to the comments section of my YouTube channel. Comment section on my YouTube channel. Talk to me. What did you guys think about the what did you guys think about this free agency, man? YouTube channel. I saw your individual grades, but what is your overall grades of the free agents? Why such a low grade for Danny? Um, I've never been a fan of small, slow receivers. That was one of my problems with Jarvis Landry, being a small, slow receiver and demanding the kind of money that he was demanding. Um, if you watch the film, you see how many times he actually gets separation on folks. And I think that was one of the problems with Jarvis Landry um, getting to the end zone is because he was that small, slow receiver with a small catch radius. And this year you saw us do more scheming for him, and it worked out great. He ended up getting 9 touchdowns, um, but it was a lot of things that we had to do to produce those 9 touchdowns. A 2 yard pass, 2 yard shovel pass at the 1 yard line, misdirection, putting him in the backfield, throwing it out to him. Um, 3 yard little shovel pass at the 1 yard line, everything in the red zone. I thought he basically was our tight end, pretty much. And the thing is now that he's proved himself as a red zone target, you're going to see stiffer competition. The Browns are in for it if they attempt to use him as a number one. It's going to be a pain in the ass for them, and they'll find out really quickly how that works. And Danny Amendola, he's a small, slow receiver. Uh, 2 seasons of 16 games. The rest he's missed games. And the stats. When you get 12 touchdowns in 5 seasons with one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, I don't know what to say. Overall grade for this season, I'm gonna give it a solid B. I thought we did some good things. I thought we got rid of Some folks that didn't want to. I would have loved though if we would have brought Landry back for $8 to $10 million. It would have been. It would have been. It would have. We probably wouldn't have signed Amendola, and it would have made the grade go up to an A. Because of everything that I can say about Jarvis Landry, he's an elite open field receiver. Jarvis Landry is probably the best open field receiver in the NFL. The problem is getting him separation with the size and the speed that he brings. So anyway, man, that's my thoughts. I don't see any more comments in the comment section. I'm about to get the hell up out of here. Nobody on YouTube nobody on Facebook talking to me. I'll talk to you guys next time. I'm about to here.